Flight of Vengeance, Justice of the Wild. This story serves as a haunting reminder of nature's brutal law, where the concept... Welcome to YT, The Wild Files. Our story begins with hunger and the desperate drive to survive. Silence loomed over a barren patch of the forest. Vikral, the lion, and his cub, Arya, had been starving for 7 days. Their ribs were visible through their skin, and their eyes had grown hollow. Nearby, atop a massive, jagged rock, sat a vulture named Jatayu with his tiny fledgling. The young bird was so small that his wings hadn't yet gained the strength to cut through the wind.
Vikral's eyes locked onto the rock. Hunger had blinded his conscience. With a powerful, explosive spring, he lunged toward them. Jatayu let out a piercing shriek, flapping his wings desperately and striking with his beak to wound the predator. But what can a bird do against the raw power of a massive lion? With cold brutality, Vikral crushed the tiny creature in his jaws. Jatayu watched, paralyzed by helplessness, as the screams of his child faded. Right before his eyes, Vikral ended the innocent life to feed his own cub. Jatayu did not die that day, but the father within him did. The grief in his heart transformed into a burning ember of vengeance. He stopped mourning and filled his gaze with fire. For weeks, he became a dark shadow in the sky, stalking Vikral's every move, waiting for the perfect moment.
The day of reckoning finally arrived. One afternoon, Vikral and his cub, Arya, were resting under the shade of a tree. Suddenly, something streaked down from the sky like a bolt of lightning. It wasn't a storm. It was Jatayu. Jatayu gathered all his strength and executed a high-speed dive. Before the cub could even react, Jatayu's steel-like talons snatched him off the ground. The cub let out a terrified cry, jolting Vikral awake. The lion's heart sank as he saw his world dangling high in the air. Vikral! Today you will learn the agony of watching your own lifeblood vanish before your eyes. Jatayu's screech echoed through the entire forest. Vikral ran like a madman, sprinting across the terrain. He leaped over dense thickets and scaled rocks, trying desperately to reach the bird. Jatayu deliberately flew low, baiting the lion, leading him further and further toward the abyss. In his blind pursuit, Vikral reached the edge of a massive, plunging ravine. Just as Jatayu reached the center of the void, he released his grip. As the cub began to fall, Vikral, without a second thought, leaped into the chasm to save his child. In an instant, the heavy lion went crashing against the jagged rocks below. As he lay broken and dying, Vikral took one last look at the sky, where Jatayu was calmly disappearing into the clouds. The moral? The arrogance of power often blinds the strong, but the justice of nature never misses its mark. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to YT.